They assigned me fire watch with Reyes. We weren't close. We trained together, sure, same unit, same hell weeks, same rations. But he always kept to himself. The kind of guy who didn't speak unless he had to. Buzz cut, square jaw, arms full of ink, and a stare like you owed him something. But that night it was just the two of us. 1 to 3 a.m. out in the dust, rifles in our laps, backs against the same sandbag wall. The desert was cold, silent. Not even the wind dared move. I caught him watching me. "You good?" I asked. He nodded, then looked away. "Yeah." But he wasn't. His leg bounced. His fingers twitched against the grip of his M4. And when I asked him again, softer this time, he finally said, "I hate the quiet. It messes with your head." I nodded. "Yeah, makes you think." He turned to me again. Really looked at me. "What do you think about?" I hesitated. But something in his tone, raw, open, made me answer honestly. "You. Sometimes." The silence after that was suffocating. I felt my pulse hammer in my ears. Stupid. So fucking stupid. Then he said, "Me too." I looked over. He didn't look away. "Why do you think I volunteered for this shift?" he added, voice low, rough. Before I could say anything, he shifted closer. Our thighs touched. His shoulder brushed mine. He reached out, slowly, and rested his hand on my knee. "This doesn't leave the FOB, he said. "Ever." "I know." He leaned in. The kiss was fast, rough, like we only had seconds before the world collapsed. His lips were dry. His hands were strong. When he pushed me back against the wall and climbed into my lap, I didn't stop him. There, in the freezing dark, under the watchtower light, we moved like we were dying. Fingers gripping, hips pressing, breath hot against skin. No words, just heat and urgency. We didn't go all the way, but it was enough. More than enough. He gasped into my ear as I gripped him through his uniform. My name on his tongue like a prayer. When it was over, we sat there again, just breathing. Then he said, "Next time I get watch, I'm asking for you." I smirked. "Next time, I'm asking for the tent." He chuckled. The first time I ever heard him laugh. A week later, he was transferred to a different base. We never got that second night, but I still think about him, about that moment, and sometimes I wonder if he does too. No one talks about what happens in the barracks. We were deployed in Eastern Europe. Cold nights, shit food, and hours of boredom punctuated by moments of chaos. But what I remember most isn't the mission. It's Callahan. Private First Class Liam Callahan. He was the guy everyone liked. Loud laugh, crooked grin, Irish accent that never really faded. But under the jokes and swagger, he had sharp eyes. Calculated. Controlled. We were assigned bunks across from each other. And over 6 months, we became close. Too close. Started small. Sharing smokes outside the wire. Watching each other's backs on patrol. Covering when one of us screwed up. He called me pretty boy, and I called him loudmouth. But there was something behind it. Tension. A heat that neither of us dared name. Until the night everything cracked. We were stuck on base during a blizzard. No missions. No movement. Just silence and too many soldiers packed into freezing concrete. He climbed into my bunk around 2 a.m. Said it was cold. Said his heater wasn't working. I didn't ask questions. I just pulled back the blanket. We lay there back to back. Not touching, barely breathing. The tension between us was unbearable. Then I felt it. His hand. Sliding slowly across my hip. I froze. "Say stop," he whispered. I didn't. He rolled closer, pressed his chest against my back. His breath was warm on my neck. His hand slid lower. "This doesn't leave this bed," he said. "I know." He kissed the back of my neck. I turned, and we locked eyes in the dark. It wasn't rough or hurried. It was slow, controlled, like he'd imagined this moment 100 times. He kissed me like he wanted to memorize it, touched me like he needed it to mean something. I ran my fingers down his chest, over old scars, felt his heartbeat under my palm. He moaned when I stroked him, bit his lip to stay silent. His hips rolled against mine until we couldn't take it anymore. That night, we lost ourselves in each other. Silent, messy, unforgettable. In the morning, he was gone before the others woke. Like nothing happened. But the next night, he came back. And the next. For 3 weeks, we were each other's secret. No one knew. No one asked. But every glance across the yard, every brush of a hand during training, it all meant something now. Then one day he got transferred. No warning. No goodbye. Just a folded-up note on my cot. You were the only thing that made me feel human out here. Stay safe. L. I haven't seen him since. But I still remember how he said my name when no one could hear. And I still leave space beside me at night. Just in case. Below deck, I was assigned to the USS Raleigh, a mid-sized Navy ship that smelled like rust, sweat, and diesel. Tight quarters, long shifts, no privacy. But at least we were off the coast, not in combat. That's where I met him. Petty Officer Nate Collins. 3 years older. Tatted forearms, sunburned neck, always chewing gum like he knew some shit you didn't. He worked engineering, which meant oil-stained hands, tight shirts, and arms like damn anchors. We didn't talk much the first few weeks. Just nods in the mess hall. Glances in the wait bay. The kind of tension that doesn't say, I hate you. But, I'm trying hard not to stare at your chest. Then came the storm. 3 days of pounding waves. Everything rocked, wet and claustrophobic. Some guys puked. Some prayed. I stayed silent, seasick and pissed, until my bunk started leaking. Of course, they moved me temporarily below deck, into an empty equipment locker with Nate. It was barely a room. Just 2 fold-out bunks, no windows, and the hum of the engine vibrating through the floor. He didn't say much that first night. Just stripped down to boxers and flopped on the bunk across from me. I tried not to look, but his thighs flexed with every movement. And when he scratched his stomach, lifting his shirt halfway, I swear I stopped breathing. Then he looked up, caught me staring. You good, sailor? He said, half grinning. Yeah, I muttered. Just tired. He rolled onto his side, smirked. Right? We both tried to sleep. Didn't work. The engine roared. My heart louder. Then I heard him shift. His voice, low. You ever mess around out here? I froze. What? You heard me, he said. You ever been with a guy? Not on land. Out here. Silence. I whispered. No. He waited. Then said, You want to? I turned toward him. Could barely see his silhouette in the dim light. But I could feel his stare. He stood. Crossed the tiny space between us. If you say stop, I will, he murmured. I didn't. His hands were on my hips in seconds. His mouth found mine firm, confident. He kissed like he'd done it before, like he'd wanted to do it again. My hands ran over his chest, down his abs, to the waistband of his boxers. He gasped when I touched him. He pushed me back onto the bunk and climbed on top, pinning me with just his weight. No one can know, he whispered against my neck. Ever. Then don't be loud. I grinned. What followed was fast, desperate, barely contained hunger. Skin against skin. His lips on my shoulder, my jaw, his breath ragged in my ear. I felt him twitch against me as we rocked slowly, silently, praying no one passed by. When it was over, he lay beside me, hand resting on my stomach, chest still rising fast. Damn, he muttered. Didn't think I'd actually do that. I chuckled. Me neither. He kissed me again, slower, like he meant it. And in the morning we said nothing. But every night after that, he came to my bunk when the lights went off. We never talked about it in daylight, never touched above deck. But beneath the surface, where the world was quiet and the sea kept our secret, he was mine.